this Sunday, I went and did a random thing with my dad, which essentially is taking the steers to market. Now, there's a particular market in our area where he only goes maybe once every 3 months. The other market, he's always going with this other gentleman. So this particular market, I have to plan, I have to coordinate, and also have to be prepared for very random, like, hey, I'm going tomorrow, you gotta be ready. And last Sunday was one of them. And I love this, and I prioritize it. Sometimes it can take anywhere from 8 hours to do this trip. This time it was on Sunday, so when it's on Sunday, there's not as big of a line to drop off your animals. And so it was only maybe 6 hours of my time out of my day, but normally it could be anything from 8 a.m. all the way to like 4 p.m. in the afternoon. And I love these conversations because those times don't really exist for me and my dad anymore. I have my life. He has his life. He's still farming. Now I go back. You've seen me on Instagram maybe talking about going back and farming and helping him unload hay or fill silo or pick corn, whatever it may be. I'm back there, but we're not in the same vehicle very often. We're often doing our things, but I love being back there and doing and helping and just being there. It's something that I've really enjoyed as an entrepreneur, that time freedom to just say yes to it. But conversations don't really happen much. And so I prioritize anytime he goes to this particular stockyard, I am always trying to make it happen. And like I said, on Sunday, it happened. And this conversations always go in a lot of different places. Sometimes I'm asking questions about his childhood. Sometimes I'm asking questions about, because my grandfather passed away in 1987, I believe. And so I was 4 years old. So there's a lot of things I don't know about that. He doesn't really talk about that a lot. So I just have a lot of questions. And I'm a question guy, so it works out perfect. One of the questions that we jumped onto was wealth. And what do you do with it? What's the purpose of it? And I want to bring to you the mindset that I brought and realize that no matter what my dad does, no matter how much money he may leave behind, no matter how much money he's accumulated, no matter how much life insurance he might have, I told him, Dad, I'm never going to wish that there was more. I'm going to wish I had more of these trips to Monroe and conversations with you. And to me, it's that wealth of conversations that to me is the only thing that I'm going to want more of after he's gone. Now, I'm a normal human being. So, I mean, money isn't going to be bad, but I'm never going to like, you know what? That made up for all those conversations that I didn't get to have, because once they're gone, they're gone. And most people are going so busy in their life, they never really slow down to think about it. They never pause to really get intentional with these conversations. And to me, it's not a conversation about wealth. It is a wealth of conversations. The wealth is in the conversations, because knowing my dad, how he's lived, what choices he's made, how he's lived it, why he's lived it in certain ways, that is 10 times more valuable, because he's a lot older than I am. I'm still trying to figure it out. And there's a lot of wisdom that I haven't necessarily asked the right question or spent time to invest and understand early times in my life. So again, the conversations about wealth have nothing to do about wealth. The conversations about wealth have everything to do about getting the value from the people around you about who they are, how they lived, what they thought, what questions, and how they saw the world. The most important thing that I've come to learn about is learning about how other people see the world, because if you have enough perspective on how other people saw the world, you then have more data to change how you see the world. And then, here's the important point, lead into better choices, better mindsets, and stronger and more capable life. To me, it's all about capability. Perspective gives you a greater capability. And the conversation about wealth is the conversation about capability. That the more I understand my dad, the more I understand who he is, the more I have that connection, the more, in also a long run, it may also prolong his life. By having this conversation, it may prolong his purpose. He may look forward to these conversations more, because it's not something that I made a priority, because life was always in the way. I always had work. I had kids. All these other things were going on. And now the corona's gone. Now that the kids are in school, I've prioritized that I'm never going to want to sit at my desk and work on my business over going on a 3-hour, 4-hour, or 6-hour ride with my dad, even if it's just sitting in a truck, going there and driving back. Even the first time we did it last winter, we went and had breakfast together. We've never had breakfast together in probably 20 years. And it's just those conversations and the moments that I'm going to remember that far more than I'm ever going to remember anything else. And it's those moments as a father that we often need to remember, that the wealth of you being in their life doesn't come from the money that you provide. It comes from knowing who you are. And to me, that is 10 times more valuable than anything that you could leave behind in your bank account. Bank accounts may increase capability, they may increase likelihood of success, but they do not make up for the absence of knowledge, wisdom, and most importantly, perspective. So I challenge you. How are you having conversations about wealth that will add to your wealth as a person, as a human being, about how other people have saw the world, whether that be your own dad, whether that be maybe a grandfather that's in your life, or whether that may be a close friend or a mentor that maybe you haven't spent much time with that you would like. Whatever it may be, take a time and invest in those conversations about wealth.